Hi, and welcome to this webinar, where we will delve into the new release of the iText Suite, iText Suite 9.2. Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride for iText these last 25 years. But first and foremost, getting the formalities out of the way. Who am I? Yeah, my name is André Lemos, your host for today. And I've been the person responsible for, well, from a product perspective for iText for the last, I don't know, I think 5 years or so. Yeah, and we'll delve into this version, which is the second version of this year, 2025. And we typically do, I don't think we ever miss that actually. So we do 4 releases per year, 1 per quarter. So you can always count on that release cycle from us. Of course, we had a pretty important release back in February because that marked the 25th anniversary for iText. We'll go through the timeline shortly enough, but first let's just talk about Apryse and how iText is a part of that ecosystem. So for those who are not familiar with Apryse, Apryse is comprised of a portfolio leading companies in the document processing space that offers developer tools across web, server, mobile, desktop, as well as platforms such as Appian and Salesforce. You may recognize some of the acquired logos such as iText, pdfTron, lead tools. So yeah, we provide technology solutions that ranges from document generation, from templates, document manipulation, conversion, editing, annotation, digital signatures, data extraction, all that stuff. And it's interesting. I've had some users of iText asking me, so what happened now with Apryse? Buying iText, will you stop developing iText? Will kind of moving to maintenance mode? And not at all, not at all. As you'll be able to see from what we've been doing, you'll see that we've been very active with iText development. So of course we're here today to talk about iText Suite, which is a server-side technology. And I say server-side, but you can always also use it on mobile. It's just not client-side in the sense that it runs in your browser. And for that, Apryse has other solutions such as the web viewer specifically. So kind of a quick rundown on what is the iText Suite before we dive in. So it is a full-featured set of libraries. So there's the main library, which is iText Core, and then you have the add-ons available for Java and .NET or C#. And if you stick around, and I know this kind of sounds like clickbaity, you'll see that it's not only available just for Java and C#, and I'm pretty excited about that, to be very honest. And it's iText is mostly well known because of its high-level APIs for document creation. So the PDF specification is a pretty complex ordeal. So iText provides with high level, kind of abstract ways of looking into a document. So you have, the object representing a document, representing a paragraph, representing a font, representing a table. So that makes things super easy. And I think we have it pretty locked down in terms of document creation and manipulation. So we've been working mostly on digital signatures as of late, and we'll talk about it going forward. So yeah, these are kind of the latest versions, 7, 8, and 9, but I'll quickly show a timeline about these versions. But 7 basically came after 5, and it became kind of more modular. We shed a lot of technical debt. And week 7 add-ons came in, and I'll be talking about those add-ons as well. Then week 8 we focused on digital signatures, accessibility, archiving standards. So we asked of our users what's the main use case after document creation, and manipulation and digital signatures really came on top. So we wanted to invest in that part. And with iText 9 we continued on that path. So yeah, what's included? Yeah, it's really a bunch of features. I won't go through them one by one, but again, high level makes it super easier to use. You don't need to be an expert with PDF files. We're always making sure that we support all of the latest specifications, all the latest ISO specifications. So that's really great in terms of interoperability and compatibility, and having the latest and greatest available at your fingertips. And then all of your regular stuff, annotations, image extraction, macro forms. But also, actually, something that I should mention is that you also have low-level APIs. So if you want to do things, if you want to kind of dive deeper into the PDF operations, that's also available to you. It's not because it's high level that we hide those things away. No. You can continue to use these things at your will. So I mentioned the add-ons. So yeah, they'll provide extra functionality on top of core. I guess that's a definition of an add-on. So again, very quickly, because we're not here to talk about like a description of all of these things, but rather the new stuff that we're bringing. We have Calligraph. So basically, if you want to create documents or create and extract data from documents that rely on complex scripts, or what it's called ligatures. So think of writing systems like Arabic or Hebrew, where the way that the characters interact with each other matters, and it kind of changes how they are drawn. Let's put it that way, without complicating things. pdfHTML, yeah, you can create PDFs from HTML, from XML, using XSLT transforms, all of those things. And you can actually create PDF UA documents or PDFA documents from pdfHTML, or even acroforms from pdfHTML. So that's super useful. You have PDF OCR. So basically you can take an image and get a PDF out of it, that it is pdfHTU compliant, meaning you can create a PDF out of an image that you can later search and archive, and all these wonderful things. Optimizer, you have a big PDF, you want a smaller PDF. Maybe it was created by a library that doesn't necessarily create the most optimal PDFs to begin with. So you have that. PDF sweep for redaction. So yeah, let's say you have a document or a set of documents with a bunch of social security codes, and you want to redact that information from all those documents. You can automate it with PDF sweep. And then PDF XFA. Yeah, there was this technology called XFA, and it was meant to be, let's say, a step further from acroforms. But unfortunately, I think because of its complexity, and with the advent of HTML5 and all these things, it didn't end up kind of gaining the momentum, or it's not still here because it didn't. I guess there wasn't a need anymore for this technology. But there are still a lot of documents out there that rely on XFA, so you can use this add-on to flatten, to convert a dynamic XFA document into a regular PDF file. So of course, iText is very well known because of its dual licensing nature. So what that means is that, yeah, you have our core technology that is available in both an open source, in this particular case, AGPL license, and in a commercial license. So, I mean, why would you pick a commercial license? Well, if you can't adhere to the requirements of the AGPL license, it can't or won't, or whatever reason you may have, we have the commercial license available to you. And we've been having this AGPL commercial license available since iText 5, since way back in 2009. And I'll quickly show a timeline of how things happened. So you see here, as I was just describing, the release of iText 5 here in 2009. Funny enough, some people don't really relate iText sharp with iText. So I always like to tell this story. I've been to a couple of conferences and helping man the booth. And I had people coming in, and I would ask them, have you ever used iText in the past? And they would go, oh no, I'm sorry, I never really. I was like, okay, no harm, no foul. But what have you used to create PDFs or manipulate PDFs? And then not once, but twice, which is something. I heard that no, I've used iText Sharp instead, and that's always kind of interesting to hear. So yeah, again, this is kind of where we introduced our dual licensing. So you have here all of our major versions. You'll notice here, and I think this is fairly important, that we didn't really introduce breaking changes between 2 and 5. That was mostly because why did we make this change? Because we did a big work looking into iText 2 and its contributors from an open source perspective, and we wanted to be sure that going forward we could continue to operate on top of iText 5 and sell commercial license for iText 5. So it is compatible. So if you're still on iText 2, feel free to move on to iText 5. We do continue to do security releases for iText 5. We just don't introduce new features for it. For that, we would always recommend that you go to the latest version, which is iText 9. And as I mentioned before, with iText 7, it became a very modular product. And actually, with less than 2 megabytes, you can get already most of the basic functionality. So that's kind of how optimized we've been doing this, and I'm actually pretty proud of the team for that. And then, of course, I've mentioned before, and I do realize I'm kind of here in the way, but we try to always keep up with the standards to make sure that again, you always have access to the latest and greatest. So with all of that out of the way, and I do realize it's a pretty big intro, iText 9. So like I mentioned before, I've had people ask us, what will happen of iText now with the Apryse acquisition? But look at us doing a major release after becoming a part of Apryse. We actually the first major release after we joined Apryse was iText 8. But to be honest, like a lot of the wheels were already in motion, so I guess iText 8 would have happened one way or another, I suppose. But iText 9, yeah, it was, we were already kind of cemented and incorporated within the Apryse ecosystem. So yeah, that's why we did it. With obviously with the major versions, we do introduce breaking changes. But I guess that's the name of the game, especially if you want to improve things and shed technical debt. But you can head on to our knowledge base and see what things we broke and kind of to help you with migrating from iText 8 or even iText 7.2 or other versions to our latest versions. Okay, so what did we introduce with iText 9? So as I mentioned before, we were really very engaged with our PDF creation and manipulation, and we wanted to kind of shift things a little bit and move into security, digital signing, and all those things. So yeah, supporting all of the latest standards. You can see them here, and I'm going to talk about a couple of the things here, specifically the MAC and the validation. So thanks to the work done with iText 8, actually breaking changes could be kept to a minimum. I mean, we're all developers. I'm a developer, and I do understand how annoying it can be to change things around. But again, it is important to do these things. So one of the things that we mention here is the integrity protection. Here's the second one. So what is it? So this ISO TS 32004 2024 is a technical specification, obviously, that extends the PDF 2.0 standard, which is the latest version. And by the way, you can get access to this standard for free. It didn't used to be free, but a group of companies that are part of the PDF Association came forward and said, look, it makes sense that the community has access to this trove of information. And as maybe some of you are aware, typically ISO specifications are paid, so you don't get access to it for free. So Apryse was one of such companies that that supported so that these specifications are available for anyone that wants to get access to it. Okay, so going back to this, what this does is that it provides integrity protection for encrypted PDF documents. So what does that mean? Well, basically it addresses a critical gap where traditional encryption ensured confidentiality, but not document integrity. So by introducing this message authentication code mechanism, and it's kind of a mouthful. So with the MAC key derived from the file encryption key, this enables recipients to verify that encrypted PDFs have not been tampered with. So it will protect you against malicious modifications of the PDF file. And the great thing about this, and I guess, yeah, it does ring true with most of the things around the PDF world, that this approach is fully backwards compatible. So, if today, you get the latest version of iText, and you want to introduce this MAC integrity protection, rest assured that you can still open these PDF files on legacy PDF software. And on top of that, you can use integrity protection alongside digital signatures. So you really get like everything that is currently available in the industry to make sure that your documents are protected and that are digital sign. And we have a pretty good digital signature webinar you can also check out around this. So basically, yeah, it will ensure the provenance of the document, among other things. And then the other thing that you might have seen there on 9.0 was also basically chain of trust. So we've introduced high-level APIs with iText so that when you receive a PDF file, from a third party, you can, again, using a very high level API, so you don't really need to know the nitty-gritty details or the technical details. You can check if the document was indeed created, issued, signed by you know by the person that is listed on the digital signature. So before, people have to open a PDF, editor and see if there's a green check mark or something like that. Now you can actually automate those checks very easily just using iText. And that's kind of like a summary of the things we've been doing, because now we did the 9.1 release, and that was again already this year in February. So actually February 14th is the birthday for iText, which is when the first public release was made in the year 2000. So yeah, 2000, we're in 2025, 25 years is enough. So what did we do with the 9.1? Well, from a product perspective, I hate to admit it, but actually, I think one of the major things, which is this first bullet, wasn't in the cards. I didn't, I mean, obviously, from a product perspective, I would go to developers and say, can we make it better? But never in my wildest dreams I imagined that we could have improved the table creation so much, specifically tag tables. And we're actually going to come out with an article kind of talking about the thought process on how we did it. And it's a pretty good article. I already read it, really good article. And one thing that I want to highlight there is that the reason why we were able to do that is that we always allow our developers to have some extra time to kind of tinker and try to improve things. And I think that's really important. I really enjoy that. And yeah, so that was, for me personally, it's like the major thing for 9.1, even though it wasn't on our roadmap. And then yeah, we've continued to improve our SVG and CSS support, GraalVM, and some random stuff. But we'll go individually through these points in these next slides. So look at this. It's pretty wild. You can see there on the left-hand side how much we've improved table creation. I'm lost for words when I first saw these charts. You can see there. So the blue line is for the version 9.0 and earlier. And you will see that so on the x-axis is number of rows, and y-axis is the time it took to render or to create these PDF files. And our developers realized that there must be something wrong where you kind of get this exponential growth. And yeah, we were successful in tackling this problem. Not problem, challenge. And a pretty good article is will be coming out detailing how we kind of tackle this challenge, and what mechanisms we use to figure it out. I'm really excited about that article coming out. And of course, you have tag table, which is very important for our customers who use PDF UA for universal accessibility, where basically you need to specify that this is a table, this is a row, this is a column, all of those details. So yeah, pretty great. Very, very happy about this. So yeah, like I mentioned before, SVG and CS support was expanded for this release. One thing that I guess a lot of people don't realize is that with pdfHTML, we use our own IP. We don't use, Chromium or kind of like a headless Chromium based solutions. We actually developed all of these things ourselves, and you can get access to our source code on GitHub and learn how we did it. And of course, that enables us to, really tie HTML elements to our layout elements that we have in core. So let's say if you have a P tag on HTML, we map it to a paragraph in iText core. So of course, with these things, it kind of enable us, as I mentioned earlier on, you to create a PDFA, PDFUA coming out of an HTML file. And of course, you can do pagination, you can do some custom work. So kind of the example I usually use is that, let's say you have a tag that says QR and it has a property with some code. You can use iText, and as it goes through the HTML file, you can say, look, if there's a tag saying, QR, place a QR code in here. Or, if there's a table, be sure to break it and keep headers and all of these things. So really amazing stuff here. And actually here on the image here on the right hand side, what you can see is the release notes. So it's something we started doing since 9.0, where we always create our release notes using iText core and pdfHTML, and we try to kind of push as much features into these PDFs as possible. So they'll be PDF-A compliant, pdfUA2 compliant, well-tagged PDF compliant. They'll have SVG. They'll be digitally signed, MAC protected, like with attachments, using layers, like everything. Well, not everything a PDF could have, but as much as possible, we put it there. So for instance, in here, you'll notice we have here some glyphs in Arabic and Hebrew and in Thai, where and this comes from an SVG file. So it's SVG, well, pdfCaligraph, pdfHTML, iText core, everything wrapped together to create this PDF file. Oh, and we share the source code, so you can also see how these PDF files are created. Pretty cool stuff. So another thing that we've introduced, you might remember that we've introduced GraalVM for core. So we've extended to pdfHTML as well. So with GraalVM, it's ahead of time compilation technology with code compiled to binary standalone executables instead of running on a JVM. So of course you get a lot of advantages there. Less resources, faster startup, all of these things. So we've had it for iText core. And now we have it for pdfHTML. We have an article about this, so feel free to check it. And if there is an add-on that you think would also benefit from, official GraalVM support, do let us know. Okay, so iText Suite 9.2, yeah, which is our latest release and the second of this year, 2025. MAUI. So yeah, I think there's a bit of a theme here. You saw that where we always try to be where the developers are or want to be, and that's kind of one of the reasons why we did GraalVM. We also got a lot of people asking us, a lot of developer asking us about MAUI. So MAUI, yeah, stands for Multi-Platform App User Interface. So it's kind of a replacement for Xamarin, if you remember it. Replacement is maybe a too strong of a word, but it's kind of similar in a sense that it helps you do cross-platform development, and especially if you're kind of targeting a UI, a user interface. So we do have a lot of our users using iText on Android and creating apps in all of these other platforms. So we thought let's meet them. And because we already support .NET, we could take advantage of .NET 6 features to enhance performance and just an all-around better experience for our developers. And of course, with next slide. Oh, here we go. And of course, I guess kind of similar to GraalVM and its native image compilation. With MAUI, you also have AOT, so ahead of time compilation. So you have very optimized executables. Actually, with iOS, it's particularly useful because you cannot let's say upload or use just-in-time compilation due to security reasons. So a bunch of goodies here for you to use. And again, NET MAUI is also open source, and we try to always, how do I put it, partner with as much kind of open source technology as possible, because it's a whole ecosystem and it's great for us. So another thing we've introduced is that well, actually, introduced is a stronger word, but with iText 8, we had already implemented automated checks to assist with the creation of valid PDF UA documents. So for instance, it's kind of a quick example, but let's say you have an image on a PDF file, and PDF UA mandates that you need to have an alternate description of the image. If you try to run some code that where you specify that you want a PDF UA document, but you didn't specify the alternate description, then it will throw an exception so that you have to. I was going to say fix your code, not fix your code, update your code, so that it incorporates those requirements that are present on the PDF UA specification. So now what we've been doing is we've already had support to create PDF UA 2 documents, which is the new most up-to-date standard. And of course, we want to extend so that you can validate those PDF UA 2 documents as you are creating your processes, your modules for PDF UA 2. We also did some improvements on PDF optimization. I won't probably spend too much time here. But basically, we've improved how PDF Optimizer detects duplicate X objects. So, basically, what's a good example? Let's say you have an invoice with logos on every page. But in reality, what the PDF specification allows you to do is that you only have to have the logo once, and then you can reference it multiple times from those other pages instead of having duplicates. So we've improved the way that PDF Optimizer detects those objects in order to reduce the file size, because instead of having 5 copies of the same logo, you only have 1. Okay. pdfCaligraph, we've also improved it a little bit. Basically, sometimes we had customers that didn't want to really leverage on the pdfCaligraph features, so we've made it's a tiny change. Really, well, from a user perspective, like, developers won't be happy if I say it's a tiny change. It's never a tiny change, but it gives you a finer control as to when you want to enable pdfCaligraph as you are creating your paragraphs, your texts in your documents. So really, a lot has changed since the beginning of the year. I'm already, I don't want to say tired, but it's been a pretty long presentation. But just to round up, we'll take you on a whistle-stop tour of the key additions and improvements to iText since 2024 has begun. And again, with this very predictable quarterly cycle. So again, signing and security. So in 2024, we started with iText 8.03, which introduced advanced PADES signing API. And by the end of the year, we released iText 9.0. I think it was November, if memory serves me right, with its validation module and support for the new ISO security standards. And as we've touched on some of these topics earlier on, enhanced performance. So you saw GraalVM for core, GraalVM for pdfHTML, now introduced recently. And finally, .NET MAUI AOT compilation support as well. So again, performance, meeting you guys, the developers, where you are more comfortable with. Document creation and validation. So all of these pdfHTML, CSS, SVG, PDF UA creation and validation checks, PDF UA2 creation and validation checks, and the WT PDF. And it's always a risk to trying to say WT PDF really quickly, but which stands for well tagged PDF, which is also a specification. And of course, the table creation performance boost, which is mind-blowing. If you are looking for a reason to update to our latest version, let it be this huge performance boost. And I mean, by the way, we're already, we check other libraries in the market all the time. And iText actually already is the most performant library out there for both Java and C#. So having this boost is really, really amazing for us. And again, I can't stress this enough. There's going to be an article about it. Read it, and you'll kind of get a sneak peek into the process of or like what goes on in our developers' mind as they tackle these kinds of issues. But I know we're kind of running long, but there's something I want to share with you. Remember I mentioned before, we support Java and C#. What about iText for Python? Whoa. So this was again another of those things where we were like, I wonder if it's possible. Turns out it is. So you can use iText with Python. So actually, thanks to this Python.NET package, you can bridge the gap between Python and .NET, which allows you to use .NET libraries such as iText with your Python code. So you can kind of describe it as a phrase book for libraries written in other languages. So for anyone we didn't get the pun, it's a reference to Monty Python's Hungarian phrasebook sketch. The Python coders out there will surely understand this. And you can see here on this screenshot, it's still crazy to me. It's Python code, but then you can see here HTML converter, convert to PDF. Oh, that's our PDF HTML add-on. How is this possible? So it's well to me. I'm over the moon with this. So yeah, I'll of course, there's a lot of use cases. Why would you want to use iText with Python? Well, of course, automated PDF generation is our bread and butter. But of course, Python is used a lot for data analysis, machine learning kind of thing, a lot of signal processing. So then you can use iText there and then to generate reports as you crunch all those numbers. Of course, Python is also used a lot on web applications, right? You have frameworks like Django or Flask, and how you can use iText together with those things. Yeah, document management. So really, all of the features that iText has. So there's digital signatures in there as well. So all of these features where iText is really ahead of anything else out there, you can now use it within the comforts of your Python environment. And it's not lost in me that most of the viewers right now, they are Java and C# developers. Otherwise, why would you be interested in iText, let's say? But now know that if you also do a live with Python, you can. So yeah, we already have this repo available. We have some examples in there, so you can see how you can use core and pdfHTML. So we've created a bunch of examples which we have on that repo. And you can also check this knowledge base article where we go through this adventure.